Hi, I am Multi-Topic Talk. Welcome to this new video where we are doing the overview of Season 6 of Arrow. You can subscribe to the channel for more Arrowverse content and other content. You can also join our Discord in the description below. So let's do this. The first thought I had about rewatching Season 6 was like, this season was mediocre at best. It was probably as bad as Season 3. But then I was wrong. The season was not perfect. But it had its moments. And it was much better than Season 3. Now we pick up with Leon Liu being destroyed right after Season 5 finale and Adrian Chase triggering the explosive on the island. And then we have flashbacks to discover who survived, who died. We are led to believe Malcolm Merlin died. We are also led to believe Samantha, William, mother, and the person with whom Oliver slept many years ago, died. So Samantha died, leaving Oliver the only parent in charge of his child, basically, bringing a new dynamic to the show. So now we got Oliver as mayor, father, and Vigilante as well. We also have the villains. This year was a year where we had a lineup of villain, with Quentin James being the supposed leader, the one we thought was behind everything, you see? But of course, it was not. It was just being manipulated by someone else. So the first part of the season was to set up the FBI going after Oliver and wanting him behind bars because Amanda Watson, I think that's her name. I'm not quite sure. I know it's Agent Watson. I know Agent Watson wanted Oliver to be behind bar for being the Green Arrow, and she knew it. She just needed proof, she just needed the trial, she just needed enough evidence to send Oliver in jail. And this is the first part of the season. We also get a two-parter episode that was amazing. These two episodes with Deathstroke were great. It was among the best episodes in the series. So season 6 has its moments, but a lot of episodes were boring. And New Team Arrow, I cannot stand it. New Team Arrow really dragged down the show so much. The cast is too big, but this is a CW TV show, and later on season, usually in TV show, the main actor, the lead, get less screen time because he's more free to live his own life. So this means Stephen Amell, Oliver Queen, had less screen time, so they needed to fill the empty spaces with other characters. That's why the cast got bigger. That's why everyone else had probably as much screen time as Oliver. Of course, because Oliver is the lead, he will always be above them in terms of screen time, but less than earlier season. Earlier season, you could tell the main focus was truly Oliver, and then they started to leave that main focus during season 3, and that's okay. That's the normal way of doing things in any TV show. After a certain point, you get more moment with other characters because, as contracts usually tend to do, they give more free time for the actors. So the thing is, Wild Dog, he was good in season 5, early season 5, but then, in my own opinion, it was boring. He was one dimensional. It was not amazing. Then we got Dinah. Dinah is a plot device, a living plot device. She has no personality. She had one when the plot needed her to have one. In season 5, she was very interesting when she was first introduced, and they kept her around. Like, I have nothing against the actor. I should say the actress, because that's a woman. I have nothing against the actress nor the character. The thing is, the character is boring. We had Sarah that was amazing. She had charisma. Dinah depends on the episode. Like, as I said, when she came in season 5, I liked her character a lot. She felt like a character and not a plot device. Now, in season 6, she's just there to be there. Remove her, put her elsewhere, put any other character. You got the perfect fit, the perfect replacement, because Dinah is no more a character. Now we got Curtis. He's basically male Felicity. It's another character that was good when he was first introduced, but then when he decided to go on the field as Mr. Terrific, I know it's comic book accurate because there's a Mr. Terrific in the series of the comics, but I did not like that. I don't buy it. Yeah, he doesn't feel like a vigilante. He is not well trained. Yes, Oliver trained him like anybody else, but he don't. I don't buy him. Like, he is not a vigilante for me. Like Walcott, Walcott, Wild Dog, Runny. Even if I dislike his character in season 6, he still had street experience in some ways. He did carry a gun even before becoming Wild Dog. So he has that on his blood, if you know what I mean. He had his own training, his own experience in the streets before becoming a vigilante. So I believe more in Renee than Curtis. Curtis is male Felicity, and Felicity is not the kind of character you want on the field. Now, of course, when she's on the field, sometimes it's interesting because that brings a new dynamic because she cannot defend herself, or well, she can at some extent, but she cannot flip around people like Sarah or even like Dinah. So season 6 really felt like a main focus was placed in New Team Arrow, and they are not amazing character. The best character are the OG one outside of Felicity. I should say the best characters are Quentin, Oliver, and Diggle. Because Felicity this season, that was a mixed bag. We had moment where she was like her season 5 counterpart. We had other moments she was like her season 3 and 4 counterpart. So sometimes the drama around her, when she really wanted to be on the field at the end, I understand at some extent, but that did not feel natural. That felt forced to us. I think they run out of idea on how to stop Diaz. So they're like, oh yeah, we will send Felicity on the field. Now, in the villain lineup, we also got um, Ricardo Diaz, the Dragon. Very interesting villain. At first, he is more in the background, and he takes over when Kaiden James is killed off. And I must say, they should have stopped Ricardo Diaz at the end of season 6. I understand what they did with season 7. I understand why they kept him around. What can we do? I mean, I'm not a fan of him being dragged on for so long. Like, Small doses are great with this character, just like Lex Luthor. Small doses of the character is great. When you overuse a character, you can feel it. I felt like Tobias in Black Lightning was overused. Lex Luthor was also overused. Ricardo Diaz was also overused. Ricardo Diaz was there the entire season 6, even if he had small amount of screen time early in the season because Quentin James was the lead villain. But it was still there. So, in total, Ricardo Diaz probably has an entire season for him of screen time. And I don't feel like he is worthy for that whole season because we had Prometheus in season 5. Prometheus is hands down one of the best villain in the Arrowverse, one of the best villain on TV because the way it was done, when Oliver would survive, it's not because plot armor, it's not because they run out of ideas, but it's because Prometheus wanted Oliver to suffer. And Prometheus had a plan, and killing Oliver would be just too easy and too simple, not enough of pain for Oliver. And this one made Prometheus charming. But Ricardo Diaz is just a big brute, want to smash people. At first, you think he may be calculated until the point he decided, yeah, I killed Quentin James. So, right after he killed Quentin James, I felt like Ricardo Diaz went downhill. We had a great episode with him. The Dragon was one of the best episodes of the show. And we barely had Oliver in it. This is impressive. But this is what we get. Ricardo Diaz is a decent villain, I guess. He's decent because he's threatening, and he surely has more charisma than Ra's al Ghul. But when you compare him to Ra's al Ghul, it's like, yeah, the bar is pretty low. Now, I found Damien Dark, even my dislikes, he had more charisma. Now, he made no sense as well, but he had more charisma, and he had his personality, despite being some crazy person that wanted to blow up the planet. He was a character you could tell, okay, that guy is funny, he likes to kill people. Ricardo Diaz, just like a beast. He's like a beast. Oh, if you're not loyal, I kill you. Whoever you are, I don't care if that backfires on me. I will kill you. It's like, okay. And yeah, season 6, middle half, because I divide this season in 3 parts. The first half, which was a mixed bag. The whole anti-vigilante aspect of it was overdone in Arrow. I did not like that. The people of the city and the police turning against the vigilantes, I did not like it at all. Sometimes Williams seen, I understand where they were there, you wanted a new dynamic, but sometimes they overextended too long, some scenes were boring. And then the middle half, when new Team Arrow left old Team Arrow to create their own team, and when both teams with the same objective decided to have separate paths, I did not like it. That new dynamic, I did not like it. They were together when they wanted to be together, but then they were no more together. All the new Team Arrow being on the same side but not helping each other made no sense. The whole, I don't trust Oliver and the others, I need to be with the team that I trust, was cringe. I did not like that aspect. CW always brings up in almost every season trust issues. Stop doing that. That's a lazy way and a bad way to do character growth or storytelling. Don't do that. Because when you do that, that pisses me off. Like, at first you're like, oh, that's cute. That can make sense. But when it's like time number 30, you see that. Or time number 40. When it's been 40 seasons, you see this crap. Why? Try other device to move your plot around. That was my biggest issue. And then we had Vigilante. It was very interesting. When it got developed, even the first time I've seen him growing and being developed, I was like, they will kill him off. And I was damn right. Now, it was done a proper way. I enjoyed it. That makes sense. I liked it. What I didn't like, Dinah. She went back right to her season 5 self. Revenge, 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 revenge. She even wanted to kill Black Siren. I'm like, is she a superhero? Is she a vigilante? Did she learn from past mistake? Did she add any growth between season 5 and 6? No. No, that's not how you do storytelling. Now, we then get an episode where we get Team Arrow going all Civil War. Both sides, old and new, are against each other. Dinah and the others want to kill Black Siren, and Oliver and the others need Black Siren to take down Diaz, Ricardo Diaz. My. That was one of the worst episodes in the entire show. That went like season 4 level of being bad. Now, it's not because it's boring, it's because the whole idea of the heroes almost killing each other was dumb. Who wrote that episode? Who had the idea of this? You see, in Civil War, you could pick any side if you understand the movie correctly, but not in the Arrowverse version. You cannot root for Dinah and the others, and because Dinah and the others wanted to kill Black Siren. So tell me, how can you root for them? Okay, if you like revenge, you can root for them. But if you like hero stuff, you will understand that's not Ares wanting to kill Black Siren. Another interesting story was Quentin and Black Siren. And when they made this one, I was like, it's going full circle with season 4. And I was like, oh, probably they will kill off Quentin at the end of the season. And they did. And that was very emotional. Now, the first time I watched it, I was more shocked. And that was not as emotional. And I had no idea they would have the balls to truly send Oliver to prison. So, the first time I watched season 6, I was like, this is interesting. But on my second watch, I had tears in my eyes because I knew that was one of the last scene of Quentin, and I knew that was some kind of farewell for the character, and I realized their bond between Quentin and Oliver, and Oliver would then go to prison. So all worst thing happened to Oliver in the same season. His team is breaking apart. He has a conflict with Diggle. Diggle felt off character and returned to basic when he had a fight with Oliver. It was really off character, but the episode outside of Diggle was amazing. So Every worst thing that can happen to Oliver happened in season 6. And this was very interesting. And then he goes to prison. Who can honestly say it's the worst season of Arrow? It's not. It's not as good as 5, but it's very hard to beat 5. It's not as good as 1 and 2, but it's a strong season. 1 to 5 are masterpieces. 6 is good. It's not the best, because it has issue with Trust being annoying as usual in CW shows. But I liked it. I liked it much more on my second watch than my first watch. My first watch, I was like, this was atrocious to see. My second watch, I'm like, okay, that has something at its core that is good and interesting. So yeah, let's take a look to what other people had to say. I hope you guys will enjoy the rest of the video. So here we see the Rotten Tomato score, 45 for the viewers, 64 for critics. I cannot blame anybody, because as I said, my first watch was really hard to get through. But my second watch was much better. I did roll a comment there. Don't see why I don't have it. Yesterday I did left a comment. Oh yeah, it's there. I always remembered this season as being mediocre, probably a bit better than season 3, but then I rewatched this season. Second watch was much better than the first one. Not the best season of Arrow, not the worst. The first half had hit and miss episode. The middle half had hit and miss episode. And the last 2 episodes leading to the season finale were amazing. Season 6 is a mixed bag of the worst and the best episode Arrow TV show aired. Let's speak about the bad episode, then the good episode. The bad episodes were bad because they were about lies, destroying trust, a cliche thing CW overused to drive the story around because this was the easy way. New Team Arrow was hard to watch, most of them were made unlikable. Dinah always speaking about revenge and holding a grudge against Oliver. Curtis is just warring Felicity that also hide things from his team. All the trust speech aren't natural and they all sound cringe. Some less good episodes were boring. Caden James is a character that is a living paradox. He didn't investigate his son dead. He didn't even thought someone could doctor a picture. Yet, they showed the character as being smart. They also found a way to ruin Season 5 cliffhanger by not killing any important character. The cast is too big. The villain controlling the city is a cliche. Plot armor also protected Oliver many times. Like, many times he could have died there on the street because he was alone and they made him dumb, apparently. Because before he was efficient, before he was good, but now I guess he relied too much on his team. FBI agent Watson was boring. She was just a plot device to set up Season 7, and she came back too many times. The good now. The action, the fight scenes were well done most of the time. Despite a too huge cast, most characters have characters arc except for maybe Tia, because they decided to write her off the show because the actress was done with the show. You could tell, like, they placed her in a coma only to keep her around and give her a better send-off. Black Siren and Ricardo Diaz are interesting. Caden James was surely better than Ra's al Ghul, but he was still among the weakest villain in the series. Deathstroke 2-part episode was amazing. The Dragon episode was among the best the series ever had. Return to Basic episode felt like the old school Arrow show from season 1 or 2. Episode 20 to 23 were both amazing. Here again, among the best episodes in the entire show. Episode 9 was bad. Episodes about Dinah Revenge aren't great. And there are lots of episodes about Dinah Revenge. Old and new Team Arrow being divided lowered the quality of the show. Quentin James as well. The stand of Quentin was much better than his setup. This is sad. Anatoly was one of the best part of this season. Vigilante was interesting. If you enjoyed Arrow season 1, 2, 3, you will enjoy this season despite the flaws. I recommend to watch it at least once. It's not perfect, and it's a downgrade after seeing season 5, but it's a clear step up after season 3 and 4 disaster, driving the show toward the right direction. Season 6 of Arrow is average at best, with both great moments and bad moments. I did hesitate between a 6 and a 7 out of 10, but giving this a 6 is unfair since the show is clearly better in season 6 than what we had in season 3, and I gave season 3 a 6. Looking forward to rewatch the series again, including this season. I have a long comment there because there's a lot of good stuff about season 6, and there's also a lot of bad stuff about said season 6. So let's take a look. First comment. Season 6 assured me that Arrow shall no longer go back to those season 3-4 days. Agreed with that. Finally, the show got rid of those flashback scenes. They were good for most of them, except in season 3. All through they were shown a bit in the beginning of the show. What all happened on Yanu, the new villain Ricardo Dragon or Ricardo Diaz. If you haven't read the comics, was pretty terrible being as snobby as Prometheus and as pesky as Damien Dark. But it was the plot and the side villain who stole the show, in my opinion. Laurel's transformation was also pretty good. I agreed with that. I liked a lot Black Siren. It's rare they redeem character. And we barely know about her past. We only have bits of detail here and there. So they did good job in this aspect. I went from absolutely wanting to enter the screen and killing her to wanting her to be safe. This is true. I agree with that. Tia and Quentin were finally gone in this season, which was also pretty sad. Tia, however, I think they should have just killed her off since she didn't do anything worthwhile here anyway. I really loved that scene too. Deathstroke fights all the bad guys in one take to save his son. You see, I'm not the only one that find good stuff in this season. That guy even placed the 8 out of 10. Because since it's only 5 stars and he has 4 circled around, it's the 8 out of 10 and cannot blame him. And this one also, I cannot blame him. 5 out of 10 depends on the opinion of people. A rough season filled with too much drama. Agreed. The drama is what dragged it down. And not enough good heroing. This is true. Setting up too many elements for the future and only doing half-baked writing. This is true as well. You see, there are issue with the show in season 6. Terrible villain and a mediocre plot at best. This season is just terrible. I cannot really blame you, but it was better than season 3 and 4. We must admit that and agree on that. Nothing is as bad as 3 and 4. I love this show very much, okay? This season was lame. Oliver is a weak hero and his team is useless. I don't really agree with that. It's more likely the writer that made him a bit weak, and that gave the team a too big role. But this is another debate up for another day. The story started to get weak and boring in episode 9 to 23. I don't agree with that. I think it's more likely between 14 and 17 or so, maybe 16. Like, the whole Dinah Revenge arc was the low point of the series. It was as low as season 4. And that's my issue with season 6. It's just insane to be exciting. Yeah. Season 6 to me was maybe the worst season and had some really bad writing error for some character that made no sense. It was kind of annoying. For me, season 6 is the worst season of Arrow, which is hard for me to say since I love the show. Okay, you clearly did not watch the same season 4 as me. Season 4 was this on steroid, like all the flaws was on steroid in season 4. Oliver could not even take down any villain. Even the villain of the week could take down Oliver in season 4, which is telling a lot. Now, I must speak about one of the elephant in the room, William. At some point, his storyline is about him accepting Oliver to become the Green Arrow and sharing Oliver with the city in some ways. But then, he reached that point, he accepts Oliver being on the field, but the episode right after that, not like 2 or 3 episodes later, the episode right after that, William wants to go on the field with Oliver because he's worried about his father, leaving everyone in danger. Why? Why? You see, the episode where William was on the field with Oliver could have been a blast. It was probably one of the few myths I had. One of the few things I did not like about that episode. That was stupid, writers. Why did you do it? If they would have exchanged both episodes, the episode where William accepts Oliver to be shared and the episode where he's worried, maybe that would not trigger me as much. But the fact that you destroy character growth in one episode is really bad, and you destroy it on a stupid way. Like, no kid would ever want to go on the field like that where people can kill them. They would be scared. With that being said, maybe I'm wrong, maybe that made sense, but that did not make sense in my own opinion. Maybe they misplaced the order of the episode, I don't know what happened there, but they screwed up. So, next comment. Arrow Season 6 is a bit of a weird season. Agreed with that. I totally agree because there are goods and bad about that season. The season has one main villain that we don't know is the main villain till halfway in. True. Ricardo Diaz. This season had some good episodes and some bad episodes. The season finale is the best one. I liked it quite a bit. No, Lianu was better, but season 6 was not far behind. Something I wasn't expecting, and I thought it was good. Agreed with that. There's not that much drama, which is good. But the team splitting up, caused the season to go downhill for me. For me as well. Ricardo Diaz is an okay villain, but him teaming up with Black Siren caused some drama with Quentin that I just didn't like. Yeah, Quentin was also very off character by the end of the season when he went against the FBI. And that was clear they wanted to kill him off. At that point I was like, okay, he will be killed off. Overall, this season isn't the best season, but it's still better than season 4 by a long shot, agreed. Nothing can really be as low as 4, except Legends of Tomorrow can actually do worse. I do like this season, but I wish they could have made it better. I do like how they made it so Oliver went to prison and William was a cool character, but overall it's decent. Okay, the William part, I get it where they were coming to, and as I said, having Oliver being a father was interesting, but it was not poorly. It was not well executed. It was poorly executed. I felt like Oliver lying to his son here again, lies all over the place, drag down the show so much. And also Oliver saying, if to William, if you don't want me anymore there, well, he only has Spartan on the field, was kind of weird. I also liked Diggle being the Green Arrow for a few episodes. I really enjoyed my time. Season 6 was awesome. Nearly every episode, aside from the first episode, was thrilling, non-stop, captivating storyline, and many emotional moments all the way till the end. I won't say all the way till the end, but we had a lot of emotional moments. So, as I said in my review, could have been a 6 out of 10 because New Team Arrow suck. But we must admit, this season did good and it was better than 3. Better than 4 by a long shot, as once someone said. I hope guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. We will see each other in future video. Have a great day.